How are you doing? Good. Where are you guys from? Okay. All right, how are you doing? Good. So have you guys been in helicopters before? First time. All right. All right, how are you two doing? Good. How old's that little guy? All right, very nice. Waiting on two more here. Say that one more time. What's he, maybe you can relay it to me. All right, Mike, and how are you doing? Good, where are you from? Detroit, okay. And we got one more. How are you? You got your headset there? There you go. How are you doing? Good. Okay, my name's, everybody saw that safety briefing video, right? Oh, weather's very nice. Absolutely. Yeah, you guys picked a perfect morning. So you can hold on to that if you want, but I'll put it right here. Anytime you need it, just grab it. Okay, everybody saw that safety briefing video? Okay, my name's Kelby, K-E-L-B-Y. So you guys feel free to talk as much as you want on the flight, but you kind of start to notice it is a little bit of a one-way conversation here since I'm the only one with a mic. We just found out it's kind of hard to communicate between the two of us, but if you use the notepads, you've got one right there, and you guys have one in the back. Feel free to grab one, write anything down, send it up my direction, and I'll take care of it for you. I've got a lot going on in my headset that you guys don't hear, so the first 5 minutes of the flight, you won't hear a whole lot from me because I'm going to be pretty busy with the airport and with the tower. Once we're all clear of the airspace, I'll let you know, but you're going to see my lips moving the whole flight. Just talking to a bunch of other aircraft along the way, and another airport on the backside of Maui. So in between all of that is when I'll be telling you guys about the island. I am filming the flight, so I've got one camera on the inside and 3 on the outside. You'll see me switching back and forth on this screen up here. That'll make a video that's available to you guys as soon as we get back. Everybody ready to go? All right, I'm going to talk to the tower. We'll get our clearance here in just a minute and head out. All right, here we go. So I'm still up with tower, but you two have these vents in front of you here. Feel free to roll them on and off as needed. And this one up above you. And you guys in the back can adjust all four up above you there.
Close your eyes, girl. Look inside, girl. Let the sound take you away.
Alright, towers, let me go. How's everybody doing? Awesome. So we are going to go have some fun in the West Maui Mountains here. The West Maui's all the way up to 5,300 feet from sea level. So Hawaii's actually home to 3 of the wettest spots in the world. One of them in the very back at the top of the West Maui's, another one in the Hana rainforest, and one more that's on the island of Kauai at the top of Mount Waialeale. Each one of those spots will get, on average, 450 inches of rain every year. And each one has had record years. It has gotten all the way up to 650 inches in just 1 year. So almost every day, somewhere on the island, it's getting at least a little bit of rain out here. There's a really popular hiking trail down below us. It starts right in this little parking lot down below us. Runs right through the cook pine trees and up the ridge line. It's called the Waihee Ridge Trail. It's just a little over 2 miles each direction.
Get to the river for a run too low.
So I'll do my best to put most everything out the left and the right side as much as I can. But definitely have your phones or cameras ready if you're taking in photos. A lot of times it's just a few seconds in the back of some of these valleys, and it becomes pretty obvious we have no choice but to make a turn, head out the other direction. Every waterfall on the island, they're all fed by rainwater. So the more it rains out here, especially at the top of the island, the more waterfalls we get.
Get to the ocean for a run too low.
So in the back here, these are called Waihe'e Falls. Actually, the tallest waterfalls on Maui, about 1,300 feet tall. So being so close to one of the wettest spots in the world, it's actually pretty rare to have the clouds almost non-existent back here. So anytime I have the opportunity, I take advantage of it. We're going to head all the way to the back of the Waihe'e crater. So every island, they've all had multiple eruptions throughout their existence. This one, they figure, was one of the last on Maui, around 260,000 years ago. So the waterfalls coming into view in the back of the valley. These are the only waterfalls on the island that are not fed by rainwater. So there's actually a natural spring in the back of the crater, behind the rock wall, that has so much water in it, so much pressure, it actually pushes the water right out of the rock face. There's 17 waterfalls back here that make up the Wall of Tears. So we're in here at 3,000 feet from sea level. The top of these cliffs, straight up above us, those are 5,300 feet. And they go straight up to one of the wettest spots in the world up there. So having the clouds all basically non-existent back here, we're going to do something we don't get to do very often, which is climb all the way up to one of the wettest spots in the world, and then drop into another valley called Honokaʻau Valley. Gives you a good comparison of how tiny we are in here, huh? This valley is called Honokaʻau Valley. It's been used in quite a few scenes from the Jurassic Park movies.
It was me who set the world on fire. Who set the world on fire? Who set the world on fire? Who set the world on fire? It was
very back of the valley, Honokaha Falls, also used in Jurassic Park.
On the island, we do it island style. From the mountain to the ocean, from the windward to the leeward side. On the island, we do it island style. From the mountain to the ocean, from the windward to the leeward side.
So just for comparison, we're going 125 miles per hour right now, and you can probably feel it in your ears. We're descending at just over 2,000 feet per minute. Even at that rate, you look at these walls, they just barely change as we pass by them. We're like a little dragonfly in the middle of these canyons out here.
We do it island style. From the mountain to the ocean, from the windward to the leeward side. On the island, we do it island style. From the mountain to the ocean, from the windward to the leeward side. We go grandma's house on that weekend, clean yard cars. If we don't go, grandma gotta work hard. You know my grandma, she like that boy real sour. I love my grandma every minute, every hour on the island. We do it island style. From the mountain to the ocean, from the windward to the leeward side. On the island, we do it island style. From the mountain to the ocean, from the windward to the leeward side.
So if we were to continue heading to the shoreline and continue following it around, this would take us around to the west side of Maui. So around to Kapalua, Kaanapali, and Lahaina. That's where all the big golf courses are, the resorts, the hotels. Nothing we're terribly interested in looking at from the air. So we're going to head straight across the Pailolo Channel, out for the island of Molokai, out in the distance.
Mama's in the kitchen cooking dinner real nice. Beef stew on the stove, on the salmon with ice. We eat and drink and we sing all day. Kalikapila in the old Hawaiian way on the island. We do it island style. From the mountain to the ocean, from the windward to the leeward side. On the island, we do it island style. From the mountain to the ocean, from the windward to the leeward side. On the island, we do it island style. From the mountain to the ocean, from the windward to the leeward side. From the mountain to the ocean, from the windward to the leeward side. From the mountain to the ocean, from the windward to the leeward side.
I wanna go back to my little grass shack
It's a grand old place that's always
So this is the Pailolo channel we're crossing. Pailolo in Hawaiian means dangerous waters or crazy fishermen.
my fishing pole.
So our trade winds, they usually flow directly between the two islands here, right between Maui and Molokai. There's only about 10 miles that separate the two islands from each other. So that's close enough, and when those winds come through, they actually get squeezed and compressed together out here. When that happens, it also makes them pick up some extra wind speed when you squeeze them together like that. When you squeeze the winds and they get at the extra speed, it also makes for a very rough ocean on a windy day or most days throughout the wintertime. So for the original fishermen in the area, Pailolo Channel was one of the more dangerous channels for them to be out fishing in. So 4 islands around us, Maui behind us, Molokai straight ahead, Lanai to the left, and another island behind us to the left called Koholave. They're all 4 actually connected together out here. So in a sense, they make up a mountain range between all 4 islands. So you're seeing the very top of each one of those mountains within that mountain range. So if the channel here would dry up, this would be more of a mountain pass we'd be flying over. So it's relatively shallow. It's only about 800 to 900 feet deep. Whereas some of the other channels, they get upwards of 2,000 and 3,000 feet deep between the islands. And then if you go offshore 2 to 3 miles either direction, it drops pretty rapidly to about 18,000 feet deep.
On the beach in Hawaii.
So Molokai is known as the Friendly Island. There's only about 8,000 permanent residents here on Molokai. Majority live around the far south or the southwest side of the island. But most of the most of the homes and the land here on Molokai, they actually get passed down generation to generation. So they wind up staying within families for long periods of time out here. So about 80 to 85% of the whole island is actually completely uninhabited. For the most part, just being conserved as an island.
And I wish you were here with me. On the beach in Hawaii. Since you've been gone away, I think about you every day. Don't you know I miss you much? And you know I need your touch. I'm on a rocky cliff.
Yeah, it's a big cattle ranch out there called Murphy's Ranch. It's been kind of wide around us so we don't bother them all day. Then we're going to head into a valley straight ahead called Halava Valley. To the right, you'll see Halava Bay, and in the back, Halava Falls.
A little Pocololo, and I say mahalo. Ujjayi breathing, together real feeling.
So Molokai actually has some of the tallest sea cliffs in the world out here. They get upwards of 3,000 feet tall here on the north side of the island.
I can see clearly now the rain is gravity
So to the right, those are the Halava Sea Cliffs.
is working.
To the left, all the way down the north side, Molokai. And we'll swing it wide and put that view out the other side here.
Gravity wants to bring me down. Oh, I'll never know what makes this man with all the love that his heart can stand. Dream of ways to throw it all away. Whoa, whoa. Gravity is working.
The waterfall straight ahead, that is Papala'ua Falls. It's actually just a couple feet under 3,000 feet tall.
Gravity
That makes it the 5th tallest waterfall in the world.
wants to bring me down. Oh, twice as much ain't twice as good, and can't sustain like one half could. It's wanting more. It's gonna send me to my knees. Oh, twice as much ain't twice as good, and can't sustain like one half could. It's wanting more. It's gonna send me to my knees. Whoa, whoa. Gravity, stay the hell away from me. Whoa, whoa. Gravity has taken better.
So every once in a while,
than
you'll see mountain goats. They'll actually be climbing and scaling their way up these cliffs out here. So we're still going about 120 miles an hour as we pass these sea cliffs. Even at that rate, these walls, they still just barely change through here.
Just keep me where the light is. Come on, keep me where the light is. Come on, keep me where the light is. Come on, keep me where the light is.
Next valley we're coming up on is called Waialau Valley. See a few little houses and shacks throughout Waialau. It's basically just people living off the land out here. This is also where they film quite a few more of the scenes from the Jurassic Park movies. So there used to be a leper colony. It's actually that peninsula straight out ahead of us. So they would bring everybody that was infected with leprosy, and they would drop them right onto that peninsula. There was no way of them hiking out the back. definitely no way of them swimming their way out. So in a sense, it was like a prison for them once they got there. That's called Kalapapa.
I won't need anybody telling me that I can. And you can say that you see me if you don't know who I am. You can't say that you need.
So this valley here is called Pelikanu Valley. This will take us right through the center of Molokai.
Can be found if neither one of us can be found.
So as far as wildlife goes, technically nothing is native to the Hawaiian Islands. So everything had to be strong enough to either fly here on its own, or float here, or it was intentionally or unintentionally brought to the Hawaiian Islands. So when the Polynesians settled here, they brought wild pigs and wild boar with them. They also brought mountain goats and axis deer, which are just a smaller, leaner, and much faster version of a deer you'd find on the mainland. So even today, we have all of those thrive today with no natural predators on the island. So we have no snakes on any part of the Hawaiian Islands at all. No poisonous spiders or bugs either. So nice place to come explore and do all the hikes throughout the islands here.
Can't say that you see me if you
So this valley below is Pelikanu. On the other side, that's Waialau. We crossed the front of Waialau when we were flying the shoreline there.
You can't say that you need me, and neither one of us can be found, and neither one of us can be found, and neither one of us can be found.
And down below us, one of my favorite views of the reef called Kamalo Reef. Wraps all the way around the southwest side of the island here. Straight ahead to the left, that's Maui. So the West Maui Mountains on the backside, that's Haleakala. Straight ahead is the uninhabited Hawaiian island of Koholave. To the right, the island of Lanai. And we're descending right off the very top of Molokai. All right, what did everybody think of Molokai? Beautiful, right? So we're going to cross the Pailolo Channel again. This time Molokai back over to Maui. So the island all the way to the right, that's the island of Lanai. Lanai is now privately owned by Larry Ellison. So he paid around $500 million for his part of the island, which is about 98% of the island. And then he turned around and put another $500 million back into Lanai. His main goal is just to conserve the island to bring it back to its original state. So it was always owned by the Dole Corporation. So they grew all of their pineapple out there. So its nickname is the Pineapple Island. Even though it's privately owned, always has been, always will be open to the public. So you can get on one of the ferries that come out of Lahaina, Lahaina, and it's about an hour-and-a-half boat ride over to Lanai. So Maui straight ahead. Maui is the second largest of the Hawaiian Islands. So it has about 170 miles of shoreline all the way around. Of that 170 miles, about 30 of those are sandy beaches. So we have everything from your pretty typical white sand beach to a couple black sand beaches that are on the backside of Haleakala, and even one red sand beach, which is off of the road to Hana. So every Hawaiian island, they're all formed from one hotspot that sits on the ocean floor. That hotspot sits on the backside or the south side of the Big Island. So if we were to continue flying straight ahead up over Haleakala, out into the ocean another 35 miles, we would land on the first shores of the Big Island. From the Big Island to the last island of Kauai, it's about 300 miles in the Hawaiian chain. So if every Hawaiian island is started or formed from just one hotspot, it means that as they're formed, they're also constantly shifting. So every Hawaiian island, even today, they all shift about 2 centimeters every 10 years. So for the island of Kauai to start where the Big Island is out there and make its way 300 miles away, moving at 2 centimeters every decade, they estimate that took about 5 million years to accomplish. So Kauai is the oldest of all the Hawaiian islands. Big Island is the youngest, at around 300,000 years old. As we come back on shore Maui, start to see a road here. It starts on the Lahaina side as Highway 340, And then about halfway up the coastline, switches to Highway 30. They say Highway 30 is one of the 5 most dangerous roads in the world to drive. The reason being is it actually has about 35 hairpin corners. They get so narrow, only one car can make it around them at a time. But there's some beautiful spots along the way to pull off and hike down towards the water. All these flat areas, this is where they used to grow a lot of pineapple here on Maui. So this was all the Dole Corporation up here as well. But just like a majority of our sugarcane industry, a lot of the pineapple's been taken off the island. Just started to get too expensive to continue growing it here on Maui in such large numbers. And in the back of the bay here is an old little fishing town called Kahakaloa. Highway 30 runs right through the middle of Kahakaloa. You can stop in there and get some of the best locally made banana bread on the island.
Beautiful ocean and the palm trees. Sun is always shining, feel that cool breeze. Why you in a hurry? No need to rush things. Just sit back and cruise and we'll be.
Alright, so I've got to talk to the airport here for the next few minutes, so I'm going to let you take in the views of the West Maui shoreline. These are the tallest sea cliffs on Maui, at around 900 feet tall. The ones we flew on Molokai, those were 3,000 feet tall. And I'll be back with you before we come on shore straight ahead.
This place they call paradise, I call my home. Blessed to be born and raised, local grown. This aloha going around, you know it's contagious. No, can't contain it. Yeah, my favorite place is that H-A-W-A. 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 There ain't no other place like these islands.
So straight ahead is Haleakala. Top of the island is 10,023 feet. Haleakala means rising sun. So it is a beautiful place to go up in the morning and watch the sunrise, or in the evening watch the sunset. Then you can stick around for some of the most beautiful stargazing in the world at the top of the island.
This place is something special, and you know you won't forget. With all my love and loyalty and utmost respect.
But if you go up there between 3 in the morning and 7 in the morning, you do need a reservation before going into the national park. It does get fairly crowded going in there for sunrise.
H-A-W-A. There ain't no other place like these islands. It's H-A-W-A. 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 There ain't no other place like these islands.
To the right, that's the town of Wailuku. Straight ahead, Kahului. And about halfway up the coastline to the left, a little town called Paia. Just offshore of Paia is a world-famous surf spot called Jaws. Some of the biggest waves in the world get surfed out there in the winter months. So as we start making our way back into Kahului here, once we get on the ground, just hang tight. One of the girls are going to help you out of the helicopter. They're here to make sure that you don't exit to the back of the helicopter, and they also will open and close your door for you. I hope you guys enjoyed your flight and your views of Maui and Molokai, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your Hawaiian vacations. How'd everybody do? Awesome. Well, hang tight for just 1 minute here.